Oh Lord, my God.
We have lost our Daniel. Richmond Police Officer Badge number 457.
A solemn memorial for an officer who answered his last call, a man who embodied the oath behind the badge.
Obviously, we thought he could be a good police officer, but boy, oh boy, were we wrong. He turned out to be a great police officer.
Richmond Police Chief Larry Brock says Officer Daniel Ellis went above and beyond his call of duty. During his 7 years of public service, he treated people with compassion and respect, even those who he arrested.
The lives of his fellow officers and the lives of his family will never be the same again. Our collective grief is nearly inconsolable.
The depth of their grief too deep for words to describe. Hundreds of police officers from all over the country joined in the dignified procession, honoring a fellow officer who didn't make it home. Amid their sorrow, an outpouring of support from the loving Richmond community.
Everybody has just come out to support this family so much. It is just so heart-touching.
Kathy Wall was among the dozens of supporters who stood in silent reflection as Officer Ellis's casket departed for its final resting place.
I just wanted to bring my granddaughter to show her that we do have true heroes in our communities and that they give their life for us and that they don't mind to put their life on the line. I just told her that it was, that Officer Ellis was called by God to do a special job and that his job was to protect the people and that he had done his job and it was time for him to go home.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God.
He will remain a part of us forever.
How great thou
Rest easy, Daniel. You have left us too early.
Who is this?
This is Jake. Jake is, we think, about 13 years old.
Gemma Ziegler has always loved horses. Now, unexpectedly, she's in the business of saving them.
Yeah, barely.
Jake apparently locked in a stall, forced to stand in manure and urine, turning his hooves into mush. His ribs still protruding, but he's gained nearly 60 pounds since arriving. Jake and 2 other horses brought to Gemma and her daughter Laura by the sheriff because he thought they could do something to help.
This is what you do normally
This is
with
what I do
raccoons.
normally, yes.
So horses venturing out of your territory a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Laura Sullivan helping raccoons like little Rosemary Cooney. Laura, a wildlife rehabilitator. But she loves all animals and knew her mother had horse connections, so they took in all 3.
And this is Big L.
Big L, the worst off, silver paint marking sores that are still healing. The 15-year-old stallion most at risk of having to be put down, the slowest to gain weight.
How long ago was this?
3 weeks.
These photographs taken right after the horses were removed from a nearby farm after an anonymous call to the sheriff. The horses looking skeletal and barely standing, caked in mud and feces.
Was this the one you were worried you were going to lose?
Yes.
Are we out of the woods with him?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Those cheers from a barn full of people who've taken the reins to care for the horses.
Rinsing out a water bucket.
These are Gemma's horse connections who've been volunteering 24/7 to meet every need.
The vet recommended that we wrap their legs.
Hard work, often dirty work, but it's a labor of love.
We do it because of the love of the animals. We would do anything for horses.
Too many volunteers to name individually, but they are part of a group.
We're the Golden Girls Saddle Club from Harrodsburg, Kentucky.
Yay! The Golden Girls Saddle Club to the rescue, a group that usually rides horses together, now united to saving them. And it's working. Big Red, the final of the 3 horses, almost fully recovered.
What is this doing for your heart today?
It's done my heart good, and just the group of women, the Golden Girls, they're just great. I'm just a mess.
It's taken time and money to get these horses back on their feet. Anessa Earhart spearheading a GoFundMe account.
We have raised on our GoFundMe, the Three Horses Fund, we've raised $3,100. Our goal was $2,000.
And as word spread throughout Mercer County, people have been donating money, hay, feed, bedding, even services.
The people working with these horses have certainly seen the worst in humanity when it comes to the abuse of these horses. But on the flip side, they've also seen the best in humanity.
When you see animal abuse, it makes you think, oh, you can really get down about it. When you see people all join together to try to do good, redeems your faith in humanity.
There are still challenges ahead. The person charged in the case only facing a misdemeanor and could eventually get the horses back. Strengthening Kentucky's laws may be the next cause for the Golden Girls.
If she gets the horses back, how will you handle that?
I think we'll just keep fighting for what's right for the animals. We'll just keep on keeping on, you know.
Jake, Big L, and Red alive today because of a golden touch with horses and a heart of gold for helping. Rachel Platt, WHAS 11 News.
The embrace that's meant for a mother who's not around to hold her children.
I just feel like she's really gone. I just want to hug them close and keep them tight.
Whether you know Crystal Rogers or not, many say living in Nelson County immediately makes you family.
It's amazing. There's nowhere else I would rather live.
Thanks to the community and everybody for everything they've done.
Rogers' family has grown by the thousands, from volunteers who made a record 2,800 plate lunches Friday at Bardstown's Liberty Tax Service to raise money for Rogers' children, to so many who filled the Nelson County football field, keeping this mother's memory alive. But in the midst of a community helping, there's a pain that cannot be filled. Rogers' parents tell us her boyfriend, Brooks Hauk, is not letting anyone see Rogers' youngest child.
Her boyfriend's got it. He won't let us see it. He won't let her brothers and sisters see it.
There are 5 children total that are without their mother.
I can only imagine what that baby's going through, not seeing his mom or his brothers and sisters.
But not without support. $21,000 was raised Friday alone, from t-shirt sales to keychains to yard signs. Right now, about $50,000 has been put in a trust fund for the Rogers children.
We just believe in the kids and making a life for them no matter what happens.
Hundreds gathered and prayed.
Lord, where are you in this all right now?
Praying for the safe return of Crystal Rogers. Her immediate family even released balloons. With heavy hearts, they continue to make it through, one day at a time.
Crystal's out there. Please come home.
One look high above from Sky 11 gives you the best view of the massive sinkhole. You can see one lane is closed, drivers passing through slowly on Phillips Lane, as caution tape and MSD workers surround the hole that hits right under the pavement.
We have a 48-inch line there, and it had a leak in it, and it undermines the ground. And then over time, the ground gives way, and that's where sinkholes often come from.
The bigger the pipe, the bigger the hole. This one is about 30 feet long, 19 feet wide, and 18 feet deep. Thomason says it will take between 4 and 5 days to repair the pipe, fill the hole, and have Phillips Lane operating normally.
We have crews that do this all the time. The folks that were on scene there this morning, that's their primary job.
The sinkhole has nothing to do with rain or dropping temperatures, but with anticipated flooding, MSD workers are not concerned. They tell WHAS 11 they are monitoring the weather, monitoring the river, and do have additional staff available if need be.
Just doing everything we normally do proactively for a rain event, so we're really not expecting a lot of issues for our customers.